Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some quick and easy apricot pastries or apricot cookies. Just little balls of dough which I make a hole in and put some apricot jam in and bake them. So this is going to be a very simple recipe. Just need to chill the dough in the fridge for about 30 minutes before you divide it up and bake it. So I'll go straight onto the ingredients. And I have 270 grams of plain flour, and that works out at 1 2/3 cups plus 2 tablespoons based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup. I have 85 grams of icing sugar, which is 2/3 of a cup plus 1 teaspoon. I have 150 grams of unsalted butter, which is at room temperature, or mine's actually softer than room temperature, but I think it will be fine. And that works out at 11 tablespoons minus 1 teaspoon. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and 1 medium egg. That would be large in the USA. And for the apricot, I have 250 grams of apricot jam. That should be enough, but because it came out of a 335 gram jar, I have more if I need it, and if it's too much I can put some back in the jar. So I think 335 grams would be maybe an 11 or 12, maybe a 12 or 13 ounce jar. So that's all the ingredients, and I'm going to start off by creaming the butter and the icing sugar together. I think I'll put the icing sugar in first and then put the butter in, and I will start this on a slow speed because icing sugar tends to blow all over the place. It's very powdery. So I will whisk on a low speed until the icing sugar is incorporated into the butter. Then I'll whisk a bit longer on a higher speed to make it light and fluffy. So that's nice and light now, and I'm going to sprinkle over my salt and put the vanilla extract in and my egg, and I'm going to whisk that in until it's combined. If it separates, it doesn't matter because it will come back together when the flour goes in. So that's mixed in quite nicely. I'm just going to scrape that down. And then I'm going to add the flour, and I'm going to do this in 3 additions. So I'm going to put about 1/3 of it in, mix it in, then the next third, and then the final third, mixing each time. And I'm going to mix it on a low speed. So that's mixed well enough, and I'm going to transfer that onto some plastic wrap. So I tip this onto the plastic wrap, and it's very soft, which is why we're refrigerating it. So I'm going to put that into the fridge and chill it for about 45 minutes. And then I'll come back and I'll have a couple of baking trays with parchment paper ready so that we can divide this mixture up, make a hole in the middle, put the apricot jam in, and then we'll be able to bake them. I've chilled my dough, as I said, and I now have my oven preheating at 180 Celsius, that's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And it's time to divide this dough into pieces which weigh about 12 grams, and then we'll shape them. So here's my dough chilled, and I'm just going to cut that into pieces, and then I'm going to weigh them and get them to about 12 grams. And then once I have them as 12 grams, I'm going to roll them into a ball and put them on the baking tray. And I'll do that with the remainder. So I have 20 balls rolled out here, and I have some more to do, but I thought I would just prepare these ones. So what I've got is just a stick which I have wrapped, it's a metal thing which I have wrapped in some plastic wrap, and I'm going to dip that into some flour and then just press down to make an indentation like that without going too far to split everything, and do the same on all of them. So I've rolled those out, and I've dipped my tool into them to make the indentation. Now where they have cracked, I have found that if I pick it up and roll it again, it's actually softening it just a little bit more, and put it back down and then press it again, it doesn't crack. So I'm going to just repeat that with a couple of these. And then what I'm going to do with those is just take some jam, and I was going to strain this so that there weren't any pieces of apricot, but I've decided not to. And I'm simply going to carefully put the jam in, but I don't want to overfill it because that will make a mess, which wouldn't matter particularly, but it's fine. So there I have 2 trays filled, and I'm going to put those into the oven, and I'm going to bake them for between 12 and 14 minutes until they start to colour. Then I'll take them out and I'll allow them to cool down on the trays before I transfer them to a wire rack and show you the results. So I'll be back when they've baked and they've cooled down. I baked the quick and easy apricot pastries or cookies for 12 minutes, and then I took them out of the oven and allowed them to cool down, and this is what they look like. So they've baked up quite nicely, and I'll have a taste of one. As you would expect, have that lovely apricot flavour from the jam, and the pastry is baked but just that little bit soft texture, so it crumbles a little bit as you eat it. So these are very easy to make, and I think they're well worth the effort. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for this recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.